So this is something a little different. I've been having kind of burnout with topics, and I've decided to kind of shift towards putting my main effort towards my other channel where I talk about non-political things because I'm just kind of sick of this concept. As I said, I'll still be making videos here and there, but it's really just me working on my other channel now. And I decided to have a little chat with Peach to talk about this sort of stuff because she's been feeling kind of the same way, and just to talk on some other topics. So hopefully you enjoy this. I'll leave a link to any videos I mentioned on my other channel and stuff like that, and if you want to see more from me, as I always say, then you should probably check that out there. But I hope this is fun. And I'm sorry I couldn't make more videos more often on the topics that I do here, but it's just something that I feel like I can't really do as well anymore, and I don't really have as much motivation for it. And I think I'm more passionate about making videos when they're on topics that don't really have political stuff in them. And that's just the way it is.
We want that.
Okay, yeah, we're recording now. So I don't
Yeah,
know how to
Peach. I was recording that whole time.
so I don't know how to introduce this. So fuck that. I'm not doing it. It's just
Your channel, bro. You do what you want. Live on the edge. Be different.
yeah. I'm so fucking edgy. I don't know how to have a conversation like this.
No. You got to dress it up as like some kind of brilliance.
I'm a savant,
You
you
need.
guys. You don't
They do that.
understand.
No, they do that on talk shows. So where they edit it, or like after the news, or where the reporters just awkwardly start like shuffling their papers and then pretending they're talking to each other. They do it on talk shows where it's like, oh, you're just coming in, but we've been talking this whole time.
And then you just like you see what's actually going on, and they're just staring at each other with like these death stares. Like no.
They're just mouthing gibberish or saying, I'm going to punch you in the uterus.
So I threw this old lady out the window one time, and they're just like, what?
I'm going to punch you right in your ovaries. Oh, man.
I really want someone to just
So
record
welcome.
those now.
Well, we're recording, aren't we? So, I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's true. Okay, so
Somebody's going to make a ringtone of Peach Balie going, I'm going to punch you right in your ovary.
someone do that. I need this.
In a terrible American accent. Nailed it.
I love how I go from like sometimes I'll go from like really wholesome to just really edgy in like 2 seconds. Like I'll be like, you need to have a positive mental attitude to approach life in a good way, and then the next second I'm just like, hey, remember the Hindenburg disaster? That was funny, wasn't it? It's like,
What? I actually recently watched a documentary on that. It wasn't funny at all. It was awful. I've just kind of grown up so far removed from it that like by the time I was born there were already so many jokes about it, and then I kind of like never really took it that seriously, but it was horrible.
yeah, same honestly. And then you look at it and you're like, yeah, people died in terrifying ways. That's
Yeah,
horrible.
there was lots of fire. That was eesh.
Yeah, I don't know. I I'm making this review on Neil Breen, and
Oh good.
and I put like a Hindenburg joke in there. So that's why I'm like looking at like my notes on it that I just have on my desk, and I was just like Hindenburg. Yeah, that's like when in doubt, just make a
That was
Hindenburg
hilarious.
joke.
Well, I can't judge. I mean, there's a horrific number of things that I've made jokes about, so
Yeah, well, I
that's all
mean,
good.
yeah, I'm probably just gonna like descend into like worse and worse joke topics for the rest of my life. Just like they're worse and worse.
Like where do you go? You
Yeah.
gotta one up yourself. So
You gotta start punching downs instead of punching down. You know what I mean?
and we're off to a rip roaring start. Welcome everybody.
Yeah, I should probably get a tiny bit of structure. So like basically, we're just gonna have a general talk about stuff, and I guess I kind of did want to ask you something in particular. So you told me, I think it was during a live stream once. You said that you liked the idea of having a smaller audience, like you wanted to recognize names like in your chat and like stuff
Oh,
like
did
that.
I say that? That sounds like something I'd say.
Yeah, I just like I don't know. I just remembered it out of nowhere, and like, do you still feel like do you feel that way or
Yeah,
yeah?
absolutely. Yeah.
So many other people say like they want a big audience, and then it's just like someone saying that they don't want a big audience. I just think it's like it's a
Yeah.
bit different to hear.
Oh, I actually mentioned it in the live stream that I did the other day. We were just talking like random stuff, and they mentioned that as well. And I was talking about because what brought that up, I guess, originally was I was talking to Undoomed off air one time, and he is like so lovely. He's great, but like he did not understand when I was saying that like I don't actually want a big audience. Like he had a fairly big audience, and he loved it, and like you know
Mm.
that it was really fun for him. But for me, I don't need that kind of attention and I didn't want it. So, but it was so hard to like convince him that that was my true feeling about it. He was like, no, but deep down, you really want the success and the money, right? And I was like, I mean, that'd be nice, but it's like, could I get that without having to compromise like the intimacy of my audience? Then I don't really want it, you know?
Yeah, that
I
makes
don't know.
sense.
Do you feel on it?
I think that makes sense. I don't know what I'm doing honestly. I just want a place to like dump my creativity. So like
Yeah,
I guess that's what it is, and like I don't really have a stance on like wanting a smaller audience or like instantly wanting this like massive audience or anything like that. It's just I
yeah.
guess I'm in between.
And it'll come off like I'm talking shit on him or something, but like I'm not at all. I thought he was completely lovely, but I think we just had really different approaches, and that I guess it shows that we have different approaches in like the quality of videos because he has like amazingly high standard production, and I just kind of talk shit and I release when I want to, and I just don't have a schedule and that sort of stuff. So
I mean, I
you know,
understand.
clearly
I basically do the same
it's
thing.
very. It's just because we're women and we can't commit to anything.
Yeah. We're being oppressed by the fucking air that we breathe every day, so we can't do that. We're too weak. No, I get it though. I don't like. I have ideas that sometimes I just write little dot points on and be like, hey, maybe I should do that one day, and then I actually do it, and then I'm just like talking shit about it and like being overly critical about everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. I find, especially for people like myself and probably yourself as well, who are like really self-critical,
Yeah.
that it's just hard to move. I just get stuck in, you know, I'll think for like a day that this is the best idea ever, and then I go to make one step towards actually producing it, and I'll be like, no, this sucks, Peach. Just trash the whole thing. Just trash your whole channel. Nobody even fucking misses you anyway. I'll just get into really, like, I'll just get really depressed about it, and then I won't do anything. So
every every burnout that I've ever had ever is just like stop this. I think one of the big problems like with burnouts that I had was like the content like type. Like it's so frustrating
Yeah.
sometimes to like look at like what the SJWs are doing and like all these stupid people like from any side and then just like talk about it. It's like there's a point where I just kind of want to face palm and just be like, this is common sense. No one cares.
Yeah, and there's a certain point of like I feel like talking about negative stuff all the time makes you burn out much quicker than you would if you were talking about anything else, like literally anything else. Like people who do story time channels and they can run them for fucking years and years and never get sick of just I mean talking about themselves, I guess. But it's because it's a kind of easier mentally easier on you to not just be talking about negative stuff and like having to look up stories that deliberately make you angry or make you depressed about the state of the world. And like yeah, I feel like that topic really the kinds of stuff that we are talking about like just makes us much more likely to burn out quicker.
Yeah, and like I think because there's that kind of side of you as well that's like I gotta help, I gotta speak out about stuff because I
Yeah.
feel like I'm, you know, and then you kind of push yourself a bit more, and then I reached that point recently as well where I stopped making videos because I was just like on this topic anyway because I was like no, and because I never really understood like content before as well when I initially started making content on the channel that I'm using as my main one now where I just talk about anything, I immediately felt so refreshed.
It's a lot better too when I mean it sounds like it's a depressing topic. The videos that I'm bringing out in like the next couple of weeks, I feel like both of them are going to be quite like I don't know, not fun topics, I guess, because one of them I've recorded is on eating disorders and like my experience with an eating disorder, and another one is just about well, I did the one last weekend about like being on medication and like losing your sense of self. And to me, it was fun to talk about that just because it's something different and something that I felt like, I mean, not that many people have talked about, but also I've never talked about it. Um,
Yeah, it just feels like
So
freeing to kind of just express yourself in like another
yeah,
way.
yeah, and like what you were saying before about like you wanting to help, like that's kind of where I came from with the start of my channel, and I still want to help, but it's like at what point does it become like, I guess, self-congratulatory, or um how do I put it, like, you're basically assuming that you're helping and you might not actually be helping. You're probably focusing on the wrong things or coming at it from the wrong way, and like you just get the idea that you're helping. Yeah, so I don't know, I just didn't want to turn into something useless.
Yeah, and like you feel like you're doing it more because it makes you feel like you're helping, which is one of the things that
Yeah.
like people get angry about, like people just virtue signaling or something because they feel like they want to do something but they don't actually like think about different ways.
Oh, look, this is why we all give to charity, right? Like this is like the
Yeah.
whole charity mentality of like, I'll just throw money at it and that'll make me feel good. But you don't realize that a lot of charities are corrupt and probably that money isn't going to the places that it needs to go. But you feel better, so it's all fine, you know.
Yeah, because like, and then people kind of like shame you if you don't give to charity. It's like, don't you want to help these
Yeah,
people? It's like I don't know where the money is going unless they show me the like percentages and give me actual like proof that they're using it for something. I'm not going to give them that. I'm actually like, I'm better off going and like finding some random who's actually going through the problem and like handing them the money, you know?
yeah. I think I've just become very disillusioned with the whole charity thing. And sorry, I know that's not where we were originally talking about, but like, yeah, I feel like it's the same kind of concept of like wanting to help but misplacing your efforts. Um, and so my channel was originally and has always been like, I never have changed the tagline on my channel, which was always like, I believe in education or something like that. And I guess people take it really the wrong way. Like I had SJWs on my channel being like, oh, the one who needs to be educated is yourself. And then other people that were like on the anti side, I guess, that were like, oh, you're just telling us to like educate yourself, shitlord. It's like, no, I don't. I mean, at this point, I don't even care what I'm learning as long as I'm like stimulating my brain. Like
Right.
I'm just throwing books at myself and just trying to get information and change the way I'm thinking and stuff.
And like
So I would like to put that in my channel,
and like that's actually one of the things that like because I want to find new things and I want to just have fun with that sort of thing as well, but one of the
Yeah.
reasons why I got sick of this sort of content is because people like you just like you were talking about before, like people politicize everything. Like they were trying to politicize the idea of educating yourself or something and making
Yeah.
it into a negative thing on both sides, and now it's just like I don't give a shit about either of you guys. Like I just want to learn things and have fun.
Yeah. And I think that, I mean, obviously everybody has different things that make them feel useful and makes them feel like they're making a difference and contributing and stuff. Um, and everybody's not going to have the same approach. But for me personally, oh my God, I feel like I'm just like channeling Rich Evans right now. For me personally,
Do the Rich Evans laugh?
um, I can't. He's too perfect. I can't.
AIDS.
Okay, well then I'm channeling Jay. I don't want to channel Rich. He's too perfect. He's too
Rich is
precious a
too
creature.
perfect for us all. I always thought that my movie taste was the closest to Jay, but like I don't know.
um oh fuck, what was I saying? Oh yeah. About education being the thing that like drives me and makes me feel like I'm doing something useful. So um I mean, my next video, the one that I'm going to be editing like right after this call, because I've been slack this weekend. The one that I'm editing this week is like about just random stuff that makes me feel hopeful about life. Like people just pick out news stories here and there and be like, oh, look, this is a feel good story. But how many of us like read that or just read the title, honestly, the like the headline and go, oh, that's nice. And then just scroll past it and back into more negative shit. And it doesn't actually like make us feel any better. Like,
Right? Yeah, yeah, I get what you mean.
I don't know if that's other people's experience, but that's definitely my experience, especially on something like Twitter. Yeah. So I wanted to like talk about stuff that actually gives me longer lasting hope. than just a couple of feel good stories. So I was like talking about the universe and um, talking about like medical advancements in like cancer research and stuff like that. That just gives me something to look forward to, and also something that I'm more interested in learning more about.
Yeah, and like you actually like put some effort into keeping like through researching that stuff and not just looking at the headlines. You're giving yourself a little avenue of like going into researching these things and like keeping track of the positivity there, so you have more like you get
Yeah.
more out of it.
Oh, exactly. I'm so glad somebody gets it because I was like, oh, what if I upload this and everybody's just like, nah, boring. But that's,
Peach.
yeah, that's exactly where I'm coming from.
It's like someone's just like, Peach isn't talking about a fat feminist doing slam poetry. I'm not interested in this garbage. Fuck it.
Oh, dude, I feel like I'm gonna lose so many subscribers over the next few weeks. Like, it was better when I wasn't uploading and people just forgot that they were subscribed to me. But now I'm gonna come back with like some different stuff that's not like, you know, trying to wreck somebody's bumhole about feminism or something, and they're just gonna be like, "What is this shit? This isn't what I signed up for."
Yeah, that's why like I first started making content. Actually, I started out of like anger because you know like
Me too.
like because I was just like I had no way to talk about the stuff. I felt like I was going insane, and like my mom especially like lately she's been talking about the fucking Handmaid's Tale thing, like that show that all of like Anita Sarkeesian and everything. I tried. Okay, I'm sorry if people like it. I tried watching one of those episodes and it was so fucking boring. Anyways, yeah, so I was like I had that massive like weight I felt like on my mind because I just didn't really. Yeah. So then I started making content, and then after a while I was like I had this like weird uncomfortable feeling where I was like I feel burned out about this topic, but I feel like I want to keep making videos and I don't get it. And then I started making videos about other things, and I was like, hang on, I actually just fell in love with content creating, and the burnout is just me realizing that I have that avenue now, so I don't really need to be as like ferocious about everything because I can cool down and like
yeah, and it's not fun for anybody to be negative all the time. I feel like it's really good for like bursts of it to release anger or something like you were talking about, or have one thing that you're really passionate about and you just really need to get out some content on it. But it's so easy to burn out when that's all you're doing.
And I feel like there's like a way to approach certain things that are negative but in different ways. So like so for this instance, like you know, wrecking feminists or whatever, that's like a negative. You just, you know, bad, stupid content, and then you're getting frustrated at it. And then there's and this is a weird example, but when I reviewed Brett Keen's shitty book, Eternal Undying Love, that's like a good.
I fucking loved that.
Suck a dick, Brett. No one cares. Anyway. Eternal Undying Love situations. So like,
You're attacking my family.
Mac and cheese. So
I'm so sorry. We should not do impressions.
Yeah, no.
Why does Brett Keane sound exactly like Rich Evans? Mac and cheese, yeah.
AIDS.
AIDS and cheese.
I'm Rich Evans and I've gotten laid. That means you can do it too. It's like, okay, I'll try and get back on topic.
Sorry.
So like, it's a negative. Like I was saying, I was talking shit about Brett Keane the entire time, but it felt like a good kind of positive, negative balance because at the same time I was like, I was bringing something into it. Like I was saying, like this is an excuse to talk about self-publishing and how to do it. This is an excuse to like talk about funny stuff in like a less negative way, you know? So like,
and let's be real, like Brett Keane is just the best target.
Yeah. I was like, this
you can't attack him and then feel guilty about it like you can with like bedroom feminists.
Yeah. Because he's just like, it's like you've done this to yourself, Brett. No one cares.
You're a fucking train wreck, Brett. Stop.
My favorite thing from Eternal Undying Love was just like the edginess, like. And then Metallica started playing on the radio situation.
I haven't been in that Brett Keane universe for quite a while. I think your video was the last exposure I had to it, actually. So I'm just getting good memories come back, you know.
Like I found so there's this channel that I ended up subscribing to called Brett the individual Keen, and it just does like Brett Keen compilations, and they're like 9 hours long, and like I find myself putting them on like whenever I'm editing or something. I always just have it in the background, and it's like I don't even realize I'm doing it. It's just there, and I'm hearing just drunken peasants talking about Brett Keen, and I'm just like, oh wait, this is playing. I didn't even realize.
Do you ever feel like that actually has like some kind of subliminal effect on your content? Like if Brett Keane starts slipping in the Keenisms and like the stupidity, your content just slowly gets dumber because not because you're dumb, but just because you're listening to Brett Keane while you're editing, so your content is like by extension retarded.
I think it kind of so like the compilations are mainly like drunken peasants like complaining about Brett Keane and listening to his video. So I think my content might be getting like more cynical and edgy because I'm just listening to TJ like going on and on about how Brett's like a fat piece of shit.
Oh, you can talk TJ. Fuck me. I actually listened to TJ last night. I haven't watched any Drunken Peasants in years, actually, but I listened to TJ last night. Just some of the like segments that he uploaded to his channel.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
something about the Drunken Peasants used to be that like I didn't ever actually watch them because I particularly liked them, but because it's so easy to sleep to them.
Mm,
Like you wouldn't think so because their voices are like kind of high pitched and like like it's easy to sleep to Sargon,
mm.
but you wouldn't think that it's easy to sleep to the Drunken Peasants just because of their tone of voice. But it actually used to get me to sleep so quickly. So
That's actually one of the things
I
like
tried that last night.
like I ended up like doing that as well because there's a sort of like weird combination of like the noises from the clips and like what they're saying. It ends up becoming like a weird like rhythm almost. Like I get that like when you're trying to sleep and stuff. But then I ended up watching it and I was like, "Oh, this is all right." And then I've been kind of not really watching them lately as well. Nothing against them. It's just that I guess I just don't really like I kind of just moved on to watching different things in general as well. I think I'm watching a lot less like political content and I'm just watching like game shit and
Yeah. I
binge
feel
watching.
like it's easy to grow out of this stuff.
Mm. Yeah, because I feel like something will happen, and then when I used to be able to have like a 10-minute video on it because there were all these topics about it that I needed to say, I've said them now, and it just seems like the same thing over and over again. So I just like I can make a tweet saying the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and then like
Exactly.
I try to like I go to people's channels where they talk about this stuff, even though it's been said a million times, just because of the humor. And even now, it's just like unless it's like very different, that doesn't really hold me.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? Like growing out of your favorite things. Like I kind of feel a bit of that. Like not that I'm better than them or something like that, but just that my taste has moved on from what I used to get so much enjoyment out of. And like even I mean, I'm probably gonna like get some shit for this. But like even Mr. Medica, I used to watch every single release as soon as he put it out. I'd be like, fuck, Medica's got a video out, stop everything. I've got to go watch it. And now I'm watching it and I'm just kind of like, I'm just not into it anymore. And it feels really sad.
Yeah, kind of same. Like I can't keep up with everything because it seems like everything is like connected to like some newest like drama or something, and I'm just like I don't understand.
Yeah, and there's all these streams that you got to like watch 6 other streams to get the context for this one stream, and they all go for 7 hours each, and you're like, no, who has time in their life for this?
Yeah,
Like even the people who stream this never watch it back. So I mean, who
yeah
exactly is like watching it all?
yeah, and I can't keep up, and you don't even realize that you're trying to keep up, and that's why you're exhausted until you like take a break. Like I actually when I took a break and I sat down and I was like I am having burnout. And I'm gonna recognize that, and I'm not gonna ignore it this time because I know it's going to like hurt me in some way if I continue to ignore it, and it's going to affect all of the effort that I put into trying making stuff as genuine or as like good as I can with whatever I have. So then I was like, okay, you still want to do stuff, so why don't you just shift to like making the variety of like other stuff that you're doing full time and make this the side thing. And then once I made the change, I was instantly just filled with like motivation, and I felt like really good.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, like even
Yeah, I mean, you need to do something that makes you proud and like makes you feel like you've actually accomplished something. Because I don't know, it got to the point when I was doing some of those feminist videos where I would upload it and I'd be like, okay, I know that people are gonna like find this entertaining or something, but it's doing nothing for me.
Yeah, it's just you have like a playbook in your head almost where you're like default response to this talking point I've seen a million times, default response to this. And it's like people know now. Like I'm not helping anyone. People just know that they know what I'm going to say as well. Like what's the point?
Yeah. Well, I always tried to like choose my topics really carefully. Like the reason I'll respond to this particular bedroom feminist is because in the end I want to talk about this, like, or I have a point that I really want to make on this. Um, and I try to put some message in there. But I feel like it's just so easy for people, and I don't know if it's like sheer willpower that they just want to misunderstand me, or if it's just I legitimately can't. It's like my problem that I can't communicate my message very clearly, but they end up misinterpreting it. And like my last video, everybody, not everybody, that's stupid, but like I was getting comments of people thinking like, "Oh, is this anti-medication? Are you telling people to like that you don't want them to go on medication or medication's bad?" And I was like, "No, that's completely not right." And it made me think about the way that I have to talk and the way that I have to like control exactly what words I'm using so that it has the least chance of being misconstrued. And that in itself is exhausting because I'm like, I really just want to say something and I'm sure that I'm saying it the right way, but like people just don't get it.
I think it's also like one of those reasons is because you've gotten so used to like short clip reply, and then it's just like you get used to saying things that are countering someone else instead of just saying your own thing and not having to
Yeah,
just base it on negatives.
yeah, and when you're doing a clip response, it's already like the context is embedded in it, and you don't have to make the context from scratch like you would if you're just talking by yourself. So I think that's another thing. Like people can like clearly see if I'm replying to something directly that that's the context of the, the situation, and that's you know they know where I'm coming from because because you've just heard what the other person said. But when you're just talking by yourself, it's really hard to establish that context to begin with. And yeah, that's probably part of the problem as well.
Yeah, because like when I just started talking about stuff, and like even if I'm doing a reply to like a movie clip or something, I'm making a joke about it. It just felt like it felt a bit alien at first because I didn't have that sort of counter sort of like anger around it as well. I was more just having fun, but I got used to it, and I just like I'm gonna choose this like any day over talking about stupid feminist crap that everyone already knows.
Yeah, it's look, I got to hand it honestly to the channels that can still like are genuinely not getting sick of it and are still having fun with it. Like I feel like people like Drunken Uncle are still finding a way to
Yeah,
make it fun.
yeah, like those
Um,
that's like some real dedication to like finding passion out of things in new ways, which I can admire.
and I don't think of it like he's beating a dead horse. I think he's just like he's doing what he finds fun,
Yeah, you
and
can.
so it makes it. But when you can sense the burnout in someone,
Yeah,
it makes it hard to watch their stuff.
yeah, like you can genuinely tell when someone's just having fun, and it's like I don't ever want to try and change that. That's cool,
Yeah.
but then it's like I when I stopped, I was just like, yeah, I know that if I made something, people could probably tell that there would be a huge amount of burnout there, and that wouldn't be fun for anyone. So like even if people are like, why aren't you uploading or whatever, I would just be like, well, no, I can't do that.
Yeah. And it's part of like respecting your audience as well, I think, because we know that they're not stupid and that they are here for a certain thing and they're going to sense if we're not into it. So it's like I'm trying to show you that I'm not just trying to spoon feed you shit. I'm trying to like respect you.
And like that's one of the other reasons as well. Like after you say the same thing over and over again, it's like you know people know this. They don't need you to like act like they've never heard it before and they're stupid. Like you can find something new, or you can just like try and do something else.
And I wish I was good at comedy. I wish I could actually like say funny shit because I feel like that as long as you have the skill to make it entertaining, you can say the same shit over and over. But
Yeah, I mean,
like I don't have that skill, so I got to try to bring something fresh.
yeah, I have the same issue. I think
Women aren't funny.
this joke is oppressing me. It's the patriarchy.
Why did the patriarchy make all women not funny? I don't get it.
I think like as well. I think that there's a lot of different sort of problems now as well. Like if you're trying to actually help, then you need to change focus to like maybe different issues, and then they might be more complex than the ones you've talked about before, so it takes a really long time to get used to them, and then more burnout comes in because you just feel like you're working harder and you're going nowhere.
And like I feel like, in a sense, there's almost this fear of like you're betraying your audience as well. I mean, I don't know if you have that, but I definitely do. Like when I do something new, I feel like, oh, what if like they legitimately don't care about this? I mean, there's some people that are like actually friends with me that I've met through Patreon or through the comments or something that I feel like they definitely, whatever I do, they would appreciate my take on it. But there's other people that are just like, look, I subscribed for the slam poetry shit, or I
Mm.
subscribed for whatever else, and they're still a valuable part of your audience. So I kind of want to respect what they want as well, but in the end, you have to be true to yourself and what you actually can do. Because if I was just going to keep doing feminist stuff, I probably wouldn't come back now, because I just can't. I can't make myself do it.
Yeah, like even if you tried to, you would still not be respecting them because you'd just be forcing it and you'd be like patronizing them
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah, like when I on Patreon, I think I can't remember when I did this. I think I did this like 2 weeks ago. I made a video basically saying that I was sick of making that kind of content and I was just shifting over to my other channel, and this would be like a side one where I'd still make content occasionally, but it would not be like the same sort of intensity, I guess. And I was just basically like, look, if you are here for that kind of content, I am not doing it as much as the point that I deserve your support in this way. So like, if you don't want to give me anything on Patreon, that's totally fine. Like, in fact, I'm making this in advance before really making the switch to let you know that, because it's important. And I was just like, yeah, this is like making it final. Like, I'm just gonna try and like pursue what I'm actually passionate about, because I'm able to like sit down for like hours and edit something just purely out of having fun with it now, and I feel like that's just better for everyone.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're just beating this topic dry now.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, it's like we got the point. Why am I still thinking? Okay, we were talking about like ghosts before this.
yeah, we were
Why am I
ghosts.
like? It's just interesting how we jumped from topic so quickly, and like I'm still thinking about ghosts for some reason.
Because there's something you just can't shake. They're so real.
Yeah, this like shadow of a tree. The shadow of a tree on my fence is staring at me, guys. It's a ghost.
No, I have real ghost stories that like I believed when I was younger. Like I was saying before, like I when I was like 13, 14, I was legitimately convinced that there was ghosts in my house.
I was kind of like half and half. Like I would think sometimes like, oh, it's going to be a ghost, and then I'd like just think back on it and like a week later and be like, what? No.
Yeah, like at least some of it I can see now was like sleep paralysis, but I'd never had sleep paralysis before, so I can understand now that like when people get sleep paralysis for the first time, it's genuinely really fucking terrifying, and I can kind of get how people end up believing in aliens for years and stuff from getting sleep paralysis once or twice.
Yeah, I
Um,
used to get the one where you see the shadows at the end of your bed and they're like trying to reach out to you.
yeah,
Yeah, those ones freaked me the fuck out. I was just like, what is happening?
but I also had kind of adults at the time enabling me and being like, "Yeah, ghosts are real," and I'll teach you how to like get rid of them. I'll send you some spells and stuff.
Spells?
So yeah, like and like incense, and you got to burn this particular kind of incense to get rid of this kind of spirit, and you got to yeah, it was fucked. So I feel like I wouldn't have been nearly as retarded on the subject if I hadn't had adults at the time completely enabling me.
Well, my parents never believed in ghosts, and they would just tell me ghosts aren't real. But my grandma always had like a fucking story because she was terrified of ghosts, and like she told me the story once where it was like she was like sleeping and she felt something cold on her arm, and then she looked up and she saw like this figure that looked like it was made out of smoke, and I'm like, were you dreaming? Because it sounds like you were dreaming.
And they get so indignant about it. No, I wasn't dreaming. I know reality.
And then like they get so
Reality
offended.
definitely includes ghosts.
Like you'll say like I would watch like, you know, those channels on like that revolve around like putting a camera in their house and saying they're haunted and stuff, and then people like go over and like analyze what type of ghost it is and everything. Someone will comment like
Scam channels.
someone will comment like the tamest thing, like well, it could be this, I'm just suggesting this. Like they don't even say that they're a skeptic, and then you get like 7 people responding telling them that they shouldn't be questioning this because they're a bigot because they don't believe, and they're gonna get attacked by a ghost.
What?
I
What?
It's like, take your intolerant beliefs out of here. He said that it wasn't editing. He said that before. Why are you continuing to question it? When you get attacked by a ghost, I hope that you believe it and open your eyes.
Oh my God, no. That's oh my fuck. That like just reminds me so much of the the stuff that was coming at me before I started my channel from feminists that were like, yeah, well, maybe you need to get raped again so you understand why you need feminism. Like that just reeks so bad of like the worst kind of manipulation. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's just the worst thing. Or like,
Ugh,
oh, you know, like
fucking hate those people.
for me, the fucking like when you know the pedophile YouTuber things were going on. That was the
Yeah.
worst because they kept going like, well, how do you know that the child's like the child has like a negative impact from it? And it's like, I have depression like really badly.
There's so many people that are like, yeah, I was fucking abused as a child, and I'll tell you exactly the negative effects. But because they have the attraction and all they want to do is defend it, they will be like, oh well, that's just an anecdote. It's like your issues didn't come from that, or oh my God, the fucking lengths that they go to. It'd be like, oh, my friend said that he was molested as a child and he enjoyed it, and now he loves children. And it's like, holy fuck, you guys are demented. That is fucked up.
Like what the fuck? And like, did you see
Oh,
there was this like Tumblr post going around where someone was like asked like anonymous ask why you're attracted to 6-year-olds, what the fuck is wrong with you? And there's all these replies.
oh, I saw that. Did you tweet that out or something? I saw that just this morning or last
No,
night or something.
I just saw it as well. I saw it going around like someone. I think I saw it because you like it? I think I saw it because someone liked it or something. The post where someone
Oh,
else.
I don't know if I liked it.
Yeah.
I was just horrified by it.
So because yeah, the one underneath everyone's like, because they're small and soft and cute, how are you not attracted to them? And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, all the replies were like, yeah, I don't get how people can't like kids. Oh, ugh.
And it's like,
God,
you know what else?
you'll need to castrate yourselves.
It's like
Seriously.
cute animals are small and soft and cute. You do not fuck those. You do
But
not.
didn't you see the tweet the other day that fucking ruined my life? Somebody tweeted it out. That like a puppy had been raped to death in Saudi Arabia or something. And
What?
like a picture of this like mangled puppy body on Twitter. I was like, oh my fucking God, do you really need to tweet that shit? Like, oh, that just ruined my entire like week. I can't get that image out of my head. Thank you so much.
What the fuck? Really?
Like even if you're just tweeting that out to like share your outrage, I'm fucked now.
Jesus Christ! Who the fuck? That.
So yeah, maybe it's just because puppies are small and cute and soft, but bleh.
And you know those same people making the pedophile comments would not defend the puppy rape, but they would still say the same thing about kids. Like, no, it's fine. And it's like, do you not understand how this works?
Like the fact that they're small and soft and cute and they can't defend themselves or they're innocent. That's why we have to protect them from fucks like you.
Yeah, that's why they can't consent as well, because they don't understand how anything works. Like, that's not a reason to like take advantage of them. Like, you know how they always go on about like how to love or something. It's like if you actually love someone, you want them to actually like be in a healthy frame of mind and try and like help them grow as a human being in a healthy way. If you really love them, why don't you like not do that? Why don't you not be a creepy person?
Well, what kind of love? What kind of love is dependent on the age of the couple? Like when that kid hits puberty, you're not going to be interested in them anymore. Definitely after that, when they've got an adult body, you're not going to be attracted to that anymore. So your love is completely dependent on them being a child. That's fucked. Like as soon as they lose that innocence that the so-called innocence that you fucking, that's what you say you're attracted to, then what good are they to you? That's what I find like so absolutely hypocritical about the whole thing.
Oh, like, do you remember that like guy? There was that guy that was going around making videos about how kids can consent, and everyone was responding to him, and he was on like a bunch of live streams arguing.
Yeah. The one with the disgusting greasy afro. Yeah.
Yeah, the Brett Keane Jr. with the snaggletooth. That one. Yeah, like he was saying stuff and he had like zero evidence, and he was asking other people for evidence, and it's just like, what?
Yeah, it went around a couple months ago that he like killed himself or something. I don't know if that's true, but Like, yikes.
Mm-hmm. That's everything is just a mess. Like that, I didn't even know that that side of YouTube existed until like it started blowing up and people started responding to these people. And I don't get how you can look at someone who does that sort of thing and then go, but it's just love. It's just the same as gay people. And it's like, no, no, it is not.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. This topic is
Yeah.
genuinely depressing to me. So, uh,
Okay, this is kind of random, like a really random shift from that topic to. But I'm scrolling through Twitter and stuff, and I don't really get the hype behind K-pop and J-pop, like those bands. It's like
you're
Asian pop
talking to the
bands.
wrong person about
That's why
that.
I don't get the hype. I'm trying to understand. I can't.
I'm trying to understand. Yeah, no. It's really funny actually because, okay, so nobody has ever really asked me, so I'll give you the scoop. Give you the
Okay.
scoop of like how I got into K-pop in the first place. And I guess I'm not really that much into the like the new stuff
Well,
anymore.
this is
I'm
your
like
golden.
old school.
This is your golden. You can give me the scoop and like try and convince me to get into it.
I mean, you don't need to get into it, but it was just really weird how I ended up getting into it. I got into it by comedy, like by parodies, people making fun of it. And it was like 2009, 2010, before like all the Japanese music got blocked over the whole internet, which is it's really hard to find J-pop now that's like any quality because it gets blocked immediately. Japan's like really strict on that shit. But you know, back in like 2009, 2010, it wasn't like that. And so people would just like take the video clips and add fake subtitles to them and make them sing about all sorts of random shit. And it was just funny to me. I was still like really juvenile and had that kind of like fart jokes or something. And so I ended up getting like into the song for the joke subtitles, but then unironically coming to like the music itself because I ended up associating it with this like happy feeling of like fun and you know, the joke or whatever. I guess I associated that laughing feeling with like the music itself, so I began to unironically enjoy it. And yes, that's how I got into it originally. And then because I started unironically liking the music, I wanted to understand what it was talking about because I mean, the whole reason I didn't like a lot of Western music is because I can understand the lyrics and I know that you're talking like some shit I'm not interested in, like especially rap music. Like I just can't get
Mm.
in with the lyrics. I can't feel anything from them. So that's why I started learning Korean was so that I could understand the pop songs. And yeah, that's how it started. That's how it has continued to this day.
Are you into BTS?
No, I've actually watched like one of their video clips and I was like, it's the same as all the other ones. I don't really get the hype around them, to be honest. But
I tried
I
listening
mean,
to I tried listening to one of their songs on Spotify. I was like, I mean, I'm not into it. Just, yeah.
but I guess that the people that are getting into it, especially if it's their first experience with foreign music or with K-pop, but especially if it's foreign music in general, I can't really like I feel like I can understand that. Like it's new, it's different. The boys are really cute. They're, you know, they're dancing and they can sing and they're genuinely really talented. It doesn't matter that they look like all the other boy bands and that they sing the same kind of songs as all the other boy bands that come out of Korea. If this is your first experience with this kind of music, of course you're gonna have like some new exciting, like happy feeling associated with it. Like so, I can't really judge people. I'm just not into BTS because the romance of K-pop is already like kind of gone. I'm genuinely looking for good music now, so I don't. I'm kind of straying away from the popular stuff. I listen to more like indie Korean music now, but yeah, I can still understand the whole hype. Just not. It's just not my taste anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I get why, like, if people have happiness from that, then I can't tell them not to do it. Like, that's fine. And
Mm.
I get the whole loving the genre, even though certain things sound the same. Like, I'm edgy because I'm really into metal, so I just like listen to a bunch of bands. I listen to a bunch of bands. Like, to some people, I guess it all just sounds like especially death metal. It all just sounds like yelling and shit to people, and it's like the same song over and over again. But you get into it, and you can hear
Yeah.
like the little differences in it, and it really just becomes like a vast genre to explore, I guess.
Yeah, and I think as if you if you actually genuinely try to like get into a new genre of music, it doesn't matter what it is, or even a new language music, um, like you'll kind of get that. It doesn't matter what the genre is. You'll start to hear those little differences and start to hear tone of um, like the difference in the tone of voice and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I just I'm not a stranger to the whole K-pop, J-pop thing. Like,
Hmm.
there are certain things like if someone recommends me like some anime or something, I'll probably know the song from the opening and like it. But like that's, um, I mean, I've
I
listened to,
never. I don't get the anime thing though.
I've seen like 3 anime, so
I
I
think I've
don't know.
probably seen three as well.
But there's this one band that I got into again, like a metal sort of thing. They did the
Yeah.
second opening for the Death Note thing, and I got really into it. So I was just like, hey, let's look up this band and like hear them like growling weird things, because that's fun. And then like
Mm.
the first opening song for Full Metal Alchemist, I love that song a lot. It's called Again by Yui, and I just listen to it over and over again.
Yui, she's my favorite. I love her.
Yeah, I started
I'm bummed out that she like retired. She went back to like street performing or something apparently,
I
which
started
sucks because I've
getting
like got all her albums.
I, I started getting into like the other songs she did. I can't like. I'm just at the point, you know, where you just put like a random playlist of songs on, and you just go through them all, and you don't really look at what they're called or anything. You're just kind of exploring like what the artist has to offer.
Yeah.
So like in that way, I'm getting into it. But I guess the hype just isn't for me because I already belong to a group of hype. Like I already like say if it's like whatever type of metal or whatever, like that hype is where I feel like I belong, and I don't really need another type.
Was it you that tweeted out like yesterday of like just hating cool things doesn't make you cool?
I don't. I think I liked a tweet that said that, but I haven't tweeted that out now
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine.
because
Oh,
I do.
this conversation just reminded me of that tweet that I saw like yesterday. And I was like, yeah, I think everybody likes hating on, BTS and K-pop and stuff because at
Mm.
the moment it's cool to hate on it. Like a couple years ago it was cool to like it and now it's cool to hate it. So,
Yeah, I just like there's a lot of stuff where it's like I'm not gonna say I hate it. I just don't give a shit. I'm not gonna try and hate it just
yeah.
because it's popular.
Yeah, of course. But there are a lot of people that hate it because it's popular.
Although there's always this massive block of people that is just wanting to seem cool, so they just hate everything.
Well, those antis.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another problem that I have with like that whole thing. Like I felt like I wasn't putting forward enough um stuff like that was just me authentically. It was still me and like what I genuinely think, but it was more like through countering something instead of just putting something forward myself.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain to somebody at like months and months ago. They're like, "Oh, why aren't you making more videos?" It's like, well, I didn't ever meant for my identity to like revolve around being against something. I wanted to be pro something, but it's just that my first couple videos were made out of this like anger of just the injustice of how like I was seeing women treat other women and treating men, and I had to like get something out of my head about it. And then I kind of just ended up being associated with that. And my people called me an anti-SJW or anti-feminist. And I guess technically I would be, but I don't want to use that label. I never used it to describe myself on my channel or anything. Like I worked really hard not to put that idea out from my side because I don't want to identify as being anti.
Yeah, yeah, because it's just like you can identify as like something. You can just explain yourself for who you are in a whole sense rather than like a half sense, which is just based on like rebuttals and things and completely leaving
Yeah.
out original things. Yeah, I feel like with the shift that I made, I felt like I was instead of being like anti this, I was being like pro entertainment or pro inspiration or like pro just
Yeah.
having a good time. Like
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
when I first started watching things before I made my own responses, my original position that I kind of got lost along the way with was I was just looking at my favorite things like keeping track of the gaming industry and the music industry and stuff that I really love, like especially games as well, like the Gamergate thing, because I just like I spend so much of my time in just games and things, and people are saying that I apparently am being harassed there because I'm a woman and everything, and I just wanted to do something to make sure that politics couldn't ruin things where politics shouldn't go. Like, unless you're making a game based
Yeah.
on politics or like writing a book based on politics, you shouldn't put your politics into someone else's thing. And that kind of came out with me being like, well, I gotta try and like get this anger out and call these out, like people out first. But then I lost my own original point along the way, and then I came back to it now,
Yeah.
where the best way for me to make sure the politics don't get into things is to actually contribute like positively by making content that isn't really political about these things, like games and whatnot.
Exactly. Like I feel the same about, well, you could say my original message being about like education. Um, yeah, sure, education at the moment, if you look at it in the context of politics, it is being infiltrated by politics, and that's not ideal. I really hate that. Either political extreme, I guess. I want it out of education. I don't want it in, like especially preschools and stuff when kids are too young to think for themselves about these issues. Which is part of where my original anger came from. But I mean, in the end, as long as you have a passion and you want to learn about something, I mean, even if, I guess, like I was said before, it's not for everybody. A lot of people don't like learning, but I just feel like that's where meaning comes from. And just being anti people being in your education doesn't actually make you pro any other kind of education. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I feel exactly the same. I like lost my original message, and I lost like in my original videos too. I was trying to like put statistics into stuff, and then it did kind of become more of an entertainment thing, because it is a lot more work to put in those statistics, and it ends up making your production slower, which makes people like, start bugging you about stuff. So to get stuff out quicker, I would just stop using citations and like stop putting all the facts in, and my sources and stuff. So yeah, it just, you have to, oh, well, you don't have to, but I ended up compromising my quality just to get stuff out, and that's again like completely against my original point. So
And then you have to
yeah,
like,
it's really hard to find a balance.
and you'd have to like sift through all of these popular videos that people are responding to, like what did MTV put out, what did BuzzFeed put out, what did HuffPo put out, like what are they, why are they,
I fucking hated that.
Yeah, so
I tried not to do that.
and it was just like, it was kind of like an addiction as well, because it was like, well, this is like a quick thing that I can just do, and I wanted to do something quick, and like even though I don't like them, it's just like, well, and
Yeah,
was,
we became the fast food of content
yeah.
creation, I guess.
The fast food of content is a great way to put it.
Oh, it's something cheap and nasty that I could just throw together and get a couple of views.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like,
I never wanted to be like that. So
yeah, and like through abandoning that, I think I mean, I'm just gonna put it that way, I'm abandoning it, but through that I really found like I found my footing back to where I originally wanted. Like I put out the I can research like horror topics now, and like I researched vampires and I actually put effort into researching it, and then I put together a little video about the history of vampires, and I was like, this isn't political in any way, but it's educational and it's about a topic that I like, and I feel really good now because I don't actually have to put anything into it in like negative sense.
well, when it's a topic you like, you want to research it as well. That's what I was saying about like finding your passion of something that you want to learn about and then just learning about it. Like, um, I decided that I wanted to like try to tackle things that I'd never even tried to learn before. So I went on this site where you can completely legitimately download books, ebooks and stuff. And just got books on like the most random topics, like living in the wilderness and building your own cabin, and doing like woodworking, and growing plants in apartments, and like on design and random stuff, and also like business, and how to, obviously I haven't read these books yet, as you might be able to tell from my stumbling around, but like how to communicate better, and like public speaking and confidence and all this stuff. Like, yeah, I just like wanted to try all these different concepts or subjects that I'd never thought about before, really, or never studied before. And that in itself is fun for me, like doing something new. So, and that's the kind of stuff that I want to encourage. But
Yeah, and like if you let go of all that sort of negative stuff that you feel like you're obligated to do, and you actually have time, have time to pick up a book and everything. Like stopped.
It's
Yeah,
shocking, isn't it?
like I slowed everything down with it sort of anti stuff, and I was like, hey, I really like video game production. I'm gonna learn how to code, and then I'm gonna download Unity. And I'm just gonna like mess around with assets and like see how it works because it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wanted to learn how to edit videos better. Like I don't have any of the software, so I'm trying to learn how to use um the free stuff like Blender and Resolve and stuff like that. I'm like trying to look up online courses or like there's a bunch of websites that do free online courses, and I've signed up to a bunch of those. Even if you don't get any certification from it, it's just like okay, I've like studied this now. I did one on like a revival of dead languages,
Oh,
and it
that's
took me
cool.
like a week, and I learned a bunch of stuff about like conserving Aboriginal languages and reviving dead languages, how people can interpret languages that have no speakers left alive. Like it's really interesting, and you find you've got so much more time to like learn stuff that is actually useful to you.
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean, it might not be useful in
yeah.
everyday life, but it's interesting enough.
Well, I mean, it is useful because it just makes you think a different way once you have like new
Yeah.
stuff to go over. Like, yeah, I have Blender too. I haven't gotten into it yet, but I know like the basics of it at least. I made a
There's an
donut.
online course on how to do Blender. I wanted to start doing the peach in Blender and like trying to animate it a little bit better, but I haven't taken the course yet. I've just like signed up to it and left it in my bookmarks. I should probably do that.
Didn't Blender
But
the channel for like the tutorials get taken down on YouTube? Like there
did
was
it?
the other I saw something like Blender. It was like blender.org or something like Blender Guru or something. Someone their channel filled with like just tutorials on how to do animation and stuff. It got taken down because it was I don't remember why, but it was just like YouTube just took it down. Someone once uploaded like a black box of nothing and it got demonetized.
Thing is, see, this is what we were talking about the other day as well, like on this other stream that I did. We were talking about like things getting demonetized and like what is even the point anymore of like hoping for stuff to get monetized. PewDiePie is like releasing a video and taking it down and like re-releasing it like 5 seconds shorter or something and like doing everything he can to like make sure it gets monetized this time. Why? Like obviously when you're PewDiePie and like you're getting millions of views and it really does make a difference, then you want to try. But I mean, like at this point, YouTube has shown that like they don't give a fuck about any of us really,
Mm.
and it doesn't even really make sense for them to try to be more lenient. Which is what I mean. I guess people didn't agree with me when I said that the other day. Of like, how would it make sense for YouTube to give us more money when YouTube itself doesn't make any money off YouTube? Of course, they're trying to find ways to like take money off us because they can't afford to give it to us. So what would be the point of like trying and compromising your own content to like what's the word, to appease them when they don't give a fuck? They'll just find another excuse to demonetize you. Like
Yeah, I
what's the
haven't
point in having any hope?
like it's to the point where people like aren't swearing anymore. It's like fuck no, I'm gonna keep swearing. I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna monetize it. I just like
Yeah,
I can't not
but you're
say things like that.
yeah, and you're compromising your own like well to some people it's their quality and it's their character, the character of their content. Like they're completely changing the way they make content just to try to get around these fucking filters, and it doesn't matter what you do, you're still going to get demonetized. The black box by itself is going to get
Mm.
demonetized. Makeup channels are getting demonetized. There's a channel that I'm subscribed to where she just like she does like baby clothes hauls and she talks about her pregnancy and like new mums and what they can expect and all this stuff. She gets demonetized regularly. She's like got 300,000 subscribers and she's sitting on like a 200 view average per video. Like it is a dead ass channel. And she gets demonetized. It's like you're not going to win, so maybe just I mean, I'm not saying give up. I'm just saying stop compromising your integrity for this thing.
Yeah, and it's like all the fun topics, like especially for like a channel like I love talking about horror, and I would probably even without swearing I would have to not talk about um stuff like that, like fucking the okay. I'm gonna bring up the Neil Breen video I'm doing because I'm so fucking excited for this. It's gonna be like an hour
Oh,
long.
I'm excited too. I'm excited too. I can't wait for this.
I'm reviewing like three of his movies, and I'm just like it's like the Power Hour, Neil Breen Power Hour, just like but like there's so many stupid things that happen in those, and like just talking about the stupid like weird sort of shit that insane filmmakers do, I would get demonetized. So I might as well, if I really gave a shit about making money, I would just not do that video, and that would be robbing so much joy from me about like, you know, stuff like that.
I don't want to copy you or anything, but I'm really bummed out that I didn't think of this first because everybody knows that I'm like this fucking Neil Breen manic.
Oh my god,
Fucking Pass Through is the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Like, not even lying. It's so fucking entertaining.
do you want to be in the video?
I mean, if you haven't already made it, I'll be in it.
I haven't made it yet. I just got the script of. I actually left out Pass Through because I was gonna do it like some other time. But if you want, like, you can review Pass Through, and I can put it in as like a segment in the video.
It's so good. Oh my god, it's like the one movie that I could watch 100 times and I'll laugh harder every single time. Like, I'll actually give myself a fucking conniption laughing at that movie.
So yeah, just let me know if you're interested, because I'm probably not gonna make it for a little while. You should review Pass Through.
Oh, I've been wanting to do another movie review too. Like, since I did the Guardians of the Galaxy one, and people were like, "Oh, this is like," I was surprised that people actually were kind of into that. And I was like, "Oh, well, sweet," because I used to fucking love reviewing movies, but I just didn't make my channel about that, so I stopped. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
same.
used to do like written movie reviews.
Like that's one of the reasons now I'm just like, I really like reviewing like weird media in general, so I'm just gonna do that now.
Did you just call Neil Breen weird media? What's wrong with you?
Lord and Savior Breen. Oh,
Breen, the alien Jesus we all deserve.
oh my god, I'm talking about yeah, I am here now, and I'm just like talking about the alien robot Jesus, and I'm like, what is this?
Oh my god, the man is like, I mean, he doesn't, I don't think he even means to be that entertaining, but it's something about like the vanity of all of his projects, and like it's just so good, man. It's so good.
I don't know if this is a controversial statement, but I think he's way more entertaining than Tommy Wiseau.
I would say yes. He's more entertaining by far.
And he also just has
like,
more work, like more movies.
Yeah, exactly. But oh my god, have you ever seen Tommy? I think that the main fundamental difference between him and Tommy is like Tommy realized that he's a joke and he tried to play up to being a joke. Neil Breen has not realized that he's a joke yet, and he still makes makes movies in complete earnest, which is what makes them funny.
Yeah,
Tommy Wiseau did that thing called, what was it, the apartment or the
room.
He did a thing where he's no, he's in a building. It was like a TV show where he's in a building and all the people in all the different apartments like interact with each other. And he was trying to be Tommy Wiseau, and it was fucking trash.
Oh, that one, yeah.
It's on. It's so fucking bad.
Yeah, like Neil Breen, there's like this sort of innocence to him because he doesn't realize.
No, but it's not innocence. It's like he legitimately thinks he's a fucking genius. I think all of that stuff about like putting political messages into his movies and like putting all this like religious imagery of him being like a savior. I think he legitimately has like a savior complex of he thinks his movies are out here to change the world, and in a way they are, because I've never been more entertained, and like what more could I want in a movie, really?
But like seriously, let's just think about the sentence we've just said: alien lizard robot Jesus. Like what? Like,
and what is with the bit where she takes, like, he flashes back to like being the robot zombie Jesus, and then and she's like kissing the mask, and it's just so fucking awkward.
What about all of the fucking
all of his actresses are paid hookers? He's just like be in this movie.
Well, like the two girls they get laid off from the job and they decide to start hooking, and the one girl's laying on the wall and she's like, "Once you're high, you don't remember nothing." And it's like, what the fuck?
That's what I mean. The guy's a fucking genius.
It's like even his promos, like when he tries to get movies funded, like, okay, I'm not trying to spoil too much about my video, but I'm doing a thing where I wrote down what he says and I'm like mimicking one of his promo things for when I start the video, and it's like it was like, it's a science fiction drama, twisted, dirty, edgy. It's not a midnight movie. It's a legitimate, mainstream, full-length feature film by me, Neil Breen. It's like
me, starring me, some hookers I picked up, and like 14 laptops. Don't worry, no laptops were harmed in the making of this film.
Multiple of the same laptop, multiple of the same can of tuna, multiple of the same phone.
See, the fact that he thinks he's a genius makes him unironically a genius, I think.
And like the
'Cause if
order.
if he didn't have this on him, that he would like not be half as good as he is.
And like the order of like if you say fateful findings and then you say double down, then you say I am here now, it goes up in like grandiose things like he's a hacker and then he's a super agent hacker, then he's Jesus.
But he's also somehow a hacker because he's got like robot chips and stuff as well.
He took shit out of his computer and glued it to his arms.
Oh, I love him.
He's like, maybe if I
it's
put
my dream to meet him.
maybe if I glue the motherboard to my chest, people will think I'm smart.
I'm like Iron Man now, see?
Then he puts on like a bathrobe, puts on a bathrobe, wanders around the desert with baby doll heads on the ground.
And then people are like, what do the baby doll heads mean? He's like, I don't want to give it too much away from my movies. You should find your own meaning. You're meant to find your own meaning in that. It's like, yeah, you got no fucking clue what it means. You just chucked him in.
Did you see that the one interview where he got asked what the budget was and he was like, I'm not going to tell you the budget. Instead, I want you to have in your mind how much you think I spent on this feature film.
Oh, fuck. Like, if I ever got into acting, the one role that I would want is just being one of those hookers or like... or like, I mean, I feel like they are all, even the ones in Pass Through, they're not playing hookers, but they are clearly hookers that he's like paid to be in the movie.
It's like how
So
in Double Down his wife gets shot and then she's just lying in the pool with her ass up and then he just gets in the pool with her naked and lies down with her while she's dead and then he gets up and walks away.
Hey, spoilers! Come on, somebody might really want to watch that. Oh. Every hero's story needs like some tragic event for him to like to spur him along the plot, you know, like to make him get his revenge.
Yeah,
I think Neil Breen definitely understands that.
It's always like the wife dies or like some random lady is like, I love you, Neil, and he's like, yay, and then he's just
or somebody with a really short shorts is getting pushed into a truck and he has to save them.
Or some guy in a wheelchair just gets tripped over or something.
Or some guy in a wheelchair suddenly gets 30 years younger and becomes like a male model.
Okay, no, model. That guy.
I don't think he's attractive. I think he's probably some kind of model, right?
That guy, when he turned younger, he had one of those like bowl haircuts where someone put the bowl on his head and like cut the hair around it. He looked like
Mr. Bean.
He looked like one of those like page boys from like low budget medieval shows.
It sounds like we're making fun, but Neil Breen is like king of entertainment, so
he's a genius.
I mean, all of my laughing is coming directly from my heart, and also a little bit from my bumhole.
Moral of the story is that I can't wait to do this review because like I'm just so hyped.
Oh my god! Well, what if you do the main one and then we do a whole separate one for Pass Through because it deserves it.
Well, why don't the formal invitation of you to come on the podcast and we can do an episode on Pass Through.
Oh, now you're speaking my language.
Oh, like coming back to like song lyrics, I just realized, like, you know how you said you can't really relate to certain song lyrics if they're about like, you know, like rap music and stuff.
Bitches and hoes.
Like, I just realized, you know, the songs that I've been doing where I put like stupid lines from people's videos. I wonder how you'd feel about the lyrics in those.
Like the Pink Guy song.
Oh no, like the I've been doing other ones where I take people's like videos and then I take quotes from their videos and like make it into songs.
I watched the Pink Guy one, but that was a cover, wasn't it? That was a cover of Help. I'm
just wondering because like one of
Okay.
I did one on Ralph the Movie Maker and one of his things was he was talking about Charles Styles like mystery diners and I one of the one of the quotes that I pulled was Sherlock Holmes, can you rub your clit against the waffle maker? Get the fuck out. So I'm just singing that over like an indie guitar thing that I composed. Like,
Did he? How did he? What context is? How do you say that in a video? Where does that sentence come from?
well, it's like that's why that was one of my favorite songs to do, because I was just pulling out these quotes of him just being like Charles Styles, Mystery Diners, Waffle Maker, and it's like all these like random things, and I put them in a song, and I'm like, this is like the best work I've ever done. This is like,
Oh, I'll have to watch that one. I was sure that I started watching it. Maybe I got interrupted by food or something similarly urgent. Stupid ghosts, bite your tongue. These were shadowy ghosts. Okay, they're very spoopy.
yeah, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it again. I don't care how much flack I get for this, but it's always the dumpy old lady with like a million romance novels on her shelf that always gets the story about how the ghost tried to fuck her. Like,
It's just so weird.
yeah, it's like it's called Paranormal Survivor or something on Netflix, where this like every single time there's one of those the ghost who wants to like fuck them story, it's always a dumpy old lady.
I don't understand why you'd even make that up. Like, what part of somebody not having an actual body is sexy to you? Like, lay off the romance novels, maybe.
I have absolutely no idea. It's just like they always picture like some really attractive like swashbuckling romance charismatic guy, and then if they actually saw the ghost and it was just like some weird mole man dwarf thing.
Does anybody ever imagine a sexual relationship of like a deceased pedophile or something, somebody with a really seedy comb over or something like that? Like, then I might believe that they're actually like mentally
Yeah.
like you wouldn't want to imagine that. So like I would be able to believe that you legitimately believe it.
I don't get like, yeah, in general they're ghosts. Like, what is attractive about that?
Well, I'd really like to ride that. Oh wait, I can't.
Oh my god, just like ghost shows in general are fucking stupid. They all use the same sound effects too.
That's why I love Ghost Facers. It's called Ghost Facers, right? That one that the like parody one that was in Supernatural, the recurring like ghost hunter
I think
show.
so.
I love those guys. I thought they fucking nailed it.
It's just like oh, you should see the legitimate ghost shows from the UK. I don't know why, just specifically from the UK, it's so exaggerated. Like, it's so bad. And then there was this other one I used to watch called My Ghost Story, and again, it's like a legitimate one. And this one lady, her hair was like, it was worse than any other like SJW type hair you've ever seen. It was just like really, really dyed. Like, you could see how brittle it was. It was just awful. And then she was like, one time I went to this haunted hospital to like record my art, and then when I went home and I went in the shower, some of my hair started falling out, and there was no other explanation. And it's like, maybe it's because you put like bleach and like I don't even know what else in your hair, like all the time. Maybe that's why.
Some of them are so funny, like when they pull up those old photographs that are like so easily debunked. They've got like a reflection on some glass. They're like, it's a ghost. It's like, you're photographing glass. What do you think is gonna happen? Like, they always have some reflect. Oh shit, man! I'm looking at my phone screen right now, and I can see some reflections on it. It looks kind of spooky.
Or there's someone didn't clean the mirror properly, and there's just like this big splodge, and then it's like, it looks like a face.
Somebody put toothpaste on the bathroom mirror, and they're like, "Oh, it's ectoplasm." Some spoopy residue.
Oh my god.
Ghost cum.
Or they like play this really stupid like creaking noise, and then they put the words underneath it, and it's like, it's clearly saying I want to kill you, and the noise is just like and it's like, what the fuck.
Oh, those ones are my favorite. What are they called? The EVP or whatever.
I think it's EVP or something. One of them always has like the fancy little like radio looking thing that has all the different lights on it, and they'll go around, it'll make it like a crackling noise or something, and then the other one has like a phone out with some weird gadget attached to it, like a microphone. They're just like, I'm getting some activity in this area.
There was actually a whole movie on that. I forget what it was called. Voices or fuck, I can't remember. Oh no, White Noise, White Noise, and it's got like Michael Keaton in it, I think. And there was a whole thing about EVPs and like very spoopy movie
Have you
about ghosts.
have you seen Grave Encounters?
I have not.
It's one of those found footage ones. It's you would think it's a parody because of how bad it is, but it's not. It's legitimate. Oh, it's basically there's this like they're like recording a episode for a ghost show, and like the producer steps in and he's like, so we recorded stuff and we would edit in stuff to make we weren't trying to deceive people. It was more exciting if we just edited in stuff because we didn't find any. And then we got to episode 6 and well, this is some raw footage that I just edited together to show you the story of what happened to these people. And then it cuts to the team, like the ghost team going inside this asylum, and then they lock the doors, and then they get stuck in like this weird dimension thing, and in the asylum, and there's all these like stock footage ghosts going around, and then they try to like open the front door, and then it just opens into a hallway again because they like stuck in the place forever, and it's like the dumbest thing.
Just the phrase "stock footage ghosts" just says everything that you need to know.
It's like these like Unity asset like little girl in a hospital gown on a bed like singing nursery rhymes, sort of stupid generic stuff like that.
I do find ghost movies are like a guilty pleasure. Honestly, I do love them.
Yeah, they
Like
are. They are like the fast food of movies.
we're the fast food of YouTube, and they're the fast food of movies. And I guess K-pop is the fast food of music. So I guess we should start talking about fast food now. We've talked about all the other versions of fast food. But yeah, there's a 1999 movie called Stir of Echoes. I don't know if you've seen that. It's got Kevin Bacon in it.
No, I don't think I have.
That's I mean, when I was young, I remember legitimately loving that movie, but I haven't watched it in years and years, so it's one of those things where I'm not sure if it's actually good or if I was just really stupid. But yeah, I recommend watching that one.
Oh, there's this one that I remember watching. I think it came out in like 2004 or something. It was called Lake Mungo, and
Mungo.
yeah, it was like it was one of the, you know, there's like ones that pretend to be real documentaries, and then it was going about this girl who went to this camp at this place called Lake Mungo, and then she died, and then it was like her ghost came back, and it was not like particularly like frightening. Like they didn't have, but the thing I liked about it is they didn't really have obnoxious jump scares or anything. They were just trying to make it look like kind of eerie, but not overall scary. They just wanted to make you like entertained and slightly unsettled. So I actually really I liked it. I thought it was good. Some people might think it's boring because it doesn't have like jump scares every 5 seconds, but I thought it was okay.
I think from what I remember, Stir of Echoes is like pretty much the same in that they don't rely on the jump scare stuff. Like I think that came in and became like the go-to filmmaking trope like a couple years later. So there are some older ghost movies that are actually way more unsettling and way more entertaining because they don't have that. Like you expect it now, and so it's not scary. And it I don't know. To me, the jump scare stuff brings me out of a film because I'm like, oh, okay, so they've just tried to, like, they've just blatantly tried to scare me instead of letting the atmosphere do that itself.
Like especially when they add the stupid like orchestral hit with it, it's always like "Duh," and then it's just like I okay. There's no point to this at all, and it's also just like they're trying to scare you. Like it makes you, yeah, it brings you out of it because it makes you feel aware of like they're just trying to scare the audience now. The ghost is just trying to scare the camera. They're not trying to scare the people.
And when they do the fake out, the double fake out or something, and it's like they close the bedroom, they open the door and you think something's behind the door, but it's not, and they do the jump scare. It's fine, and then they turn around and there really is something there this time. Another jump scare, like 2 seconds later. It's like
yeah, I have the same problem with a lot of horror. But like a lot of horror games as well, they just do that. Is they make you walk around, and then it's just like a jump scare, and then they make you walk around a bit more, and it's like another jump scare.
Yeah, what's that one that I'm so bad with names. What's that one that PewDiePie plays? Amnesia, is it?
Yeah, that one. That one is actually okay. Like it doesn't. I'd say it's one of the better ones. It's just I think with some of like people making their own like versions of it and things, it got a bit like jump scary. But the original I would say is
Yeah, there's
okay.
one that's like particularly bad, but I'm not good with like titles and names and
Are you
stuff.
talking
So
about Five Nights at Freddy's?
oh, I mean, come on, that's like
Yeah.
that's like the fastest of food we're talking
Yeah.
about. That's not even McDonald's. That's like knockoff McDonald's in terms of like scary content.
Like McDonald's or like some weird misspelling.
McDowell's. What was that one that he had in what was it, Coming to America or something, where he's like, no, it's not McDonald's. This is not a copyright infringement. They have the golden arches. Yeah, well, I have the golden arcs.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's amazing.
And then fucking, um, oh my god, I need to watch that movie. Holy shit, so good. What's his name? Samuel L. Jackson like holds up the place, and then Eddie Murphy knocks the gun out of his hand with like a broom because he's sweeping the floor.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm sure it's Coming to America. I haven't watched that in like 15 years, so I've got to go back and watch it now. Where do I find that movie?
I haven't really been watching any movies this past month. I think like today I was just binge watching Best of the Worst, like Red Letter Media shit, like for the whole of today so far.
I look, Best of the Worst is the fucking best show on YouTube.
Right, it is like
no joke.
I'm so tempted to order one of their shirts, like the Best of the Worst shirts. I kind of need one.
I need a Best of the Worst DVD. I would actually buy just a. I know I can watch it for free on YouTube. I don't care. I don't care if they've got a playlist. I would buy a DVD of Best of the Worst just because it's that good. And I would want like some outtakes and stuff, like some special features where, because they record themselves watching the whole movie and then they put like the reactions.
Yeah,
in there. But
I
there's
would
heaps of stuff that they can't put in.
I would pay
so
if they made like a box
that.
set, like a box set full of just movie commentaries. I would totally buy that. And I'd love to see like because like Mike always like Rich makes a joke or something and Mike just like stares at him for, like a long time.
Just blankly.
I just want to see all the Mike outtakes where he's like okay, I'm dead inside.
People have like hour. Fuck me. My English is so bad right now. People have like compilations of like hours and hours of just Rich Evans laughing.
Yes,
and
I love
PewDiePie.
them.
Did you catch in a PewDiePie video recently? There was a Rich Evans laugh track in there, and he's like, "Oh, I love this guy's laugh." And it's like,
God.
oh fuck, I forget what it was. Somebody faked like a viral video or something, and they just put Rich Evans laughing at it in like really quietly in the background, so it sounds like it's part of the video. And PewDiePie was like, "Oh, I love that guy's laugh. Like he's really into this or something." And it's like it's literally Rich Evans.
Rich Evans is just like it's like how can I saw one time I saw a comment like this guy has the most annoying laugh and I got like legitimately offended. I was like, no, you can't say shit about his laugh.
No, his laugh is a national treasure. It must be protected.
Yeah, like
there needs to be like, you know how they make like audio libraries of like all these instruments, like tribal instruments and ancient.
Yeah,
like,
they need to put his laugh
like
in.
that. They need to put him in one of these documented libraries, like where it's safe, where everyone can enjoy it.
Like so stuff won't even be funny, and then I'll just start laughing because he is, and it's just like.
Yeah, they must be new here, like I can remember when I first, like the first probably 2 videos I watched of theirs that I legitimately thought, oh my god, what is with this laugh, like breaking glass. Like, it's so ugly. But it only took me 2 or 3 videos until I was just as in love with it as I am today. So
in my Twitter handle I have Rich Evans Disciple now. That's my name on Twitter. Yeah, I really like it. Like that's also one of the things that helps you kind of creatively like break free. Like you watch stuff like that and you really love the stuff that they do where they're just talking and reviewing stuff that they love and you're like, hey, I want to do that, so I might as well just like actually do that.
Well, originally I wanted to actually make a movie review channel on YouTube, but like there was just so many of them, and because there are so many that are such good quality, like you've got, I mean, Stuckman does really good serious ones, and obviously Red Letter Media do really good funny ones, and I can't be funnier than them, and I can't be like, more better at being serious than Stuckman or some of the other people are. And then like YMS does really, like his long movie reviews are fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, they are.
So, where would I even fit into that?
Like I get the feeling as well, like I don't I can't list anything that's like if someone asks me what's special about my reviews, I can't list anything. I don't do anything. I just kind of
But that's my self-doubt thing. It like just stops me from doing stuff. I was like, oh well, I can't do anything different. I can't be special. So, oh well. Um, the only other reviewer that I know that's like Lindsay Ellis, she's got the Whammon card. She's a little bit different just because she's been around so long and she's like one of the only popular female reviewers, but she puts politics in all the reviews and
yeah.
that's
That's
kind of
why
really boring. So.
like her personality I don't really know, so I'm not gonna like say anything about her. But she just puts feminist theory and everything, so I can't like I just don't want to watch politics movie stuff. I just want to watch someone talk about a movie.
What did I just saw something come up in my recommended for some reason because I've like I don't know why it was recommended to me, but I just saw one of her reviews that was talking about queering. Oh fuck, what was it? It was something so random, and I was like, why? Why would you like put fucking queer theory in that?
And it's like feminist theory and like Transformers. It's like it's Transformers. Who gives a shit?
Oh, was it queering Transformers? Maybe I think it was queering Transformers.
And it's like no one
I only
cares.
remember because I just found a book like a couple weeks ago that was called "Queering Shakespeare," queering children in Shakespeare. It was talking about like how Shakespeare, like all of the child characters in Shakespeare, were like queer and like sexualized and everything. And I was like, ew, like why would you even fucking write that? So the next time I see the word queering is it's queering Michael Bay. She's written,
Oh
she's
god.
titled it. And she's put like transformers and rainbows and shit. So
Yeah, that's one of
yeah,
the
I don't know
reasons.
why you did that.
One of the reasons I just pushed me away from that. It's like, nope. I'm just gonna. The only time I'm gonna bring up politics is like when I was like talking about how Brett Keane puts politics and things, and then I just started reviewing it without the politics. I just had to mention it, and I don't actually give a shit about it anymore because it's just it just angers you so much. It's kind of unhealthy.
And there's also kind of a danger of like letting yourself look at everything through that lens, you know? Like you can't turn it off. That what they say about like putting on the feminist glasses and now you can never enjoy media again without thinking of like how it portrays the female species and all this sort of shit. It's like you've just ruined yourself. You can't actually enjoy anything anymore. So like why that's not a good thing. Like,
Yeah, that
if you get too deep into this politics, we're just going to be doing the exact same thing from the anti side. So
and I think that
yeah,
is
I don't think it's
happening.
healthy.
That is happening, and it's like it scares me because I just really am scared of becoming that as well. Like, okay, there's this game that I really adore. Like, it's one of my favorite games ever called Celeste, and Celeste is like, it's got like really good. It's a really difficult game, but it's like platforming and shit, and it's about like it has this message about like anxiety and stuff like that, and it's a really good game. There's like I don't see any politics in it, but apparently SJWs are like pressuring someone to the person who made it to like put in a mode that basically turns the game off so you can like walk through the game to like just do not do any of the puzzles or anything to just get to the top and finish the game. And it's like part of me would I think if I was still like really angry, I would just get angry at like the whole game, and it's like, why would you put that in there? But looking at it just from the perspective of like being normal and not looking at everything through a political lens, I feel like I'm like, well, it's a mode that you can turn on in the game, so I can just ignore it being there and just focus on the game itself, which is perfectly fine to me, and I really love this game, so why should I have to try and put politics into it when I can ignore that, you know?
Is that like a disability thing? Like, is that to make it more? Fuck, what do they call it? I don't remember all the terminology. Like making it more accessible.
No, it's there's this whole thing about how games being difficult apparently exclude people who aren't good at difficult games, so it literally turns on invincibility, and it gives you like infinite jumps, so you can basically like fly through the level and not actually play the game that you can turn on.
Yeah, exactly. What is the game part of that then? It's just you're just walking through a level. Then
Yeah. I mean, like
I'm walking from point A to point B, and there's no challenge in between.
and it's like I can look at that and say it's stupid, but I think the way that I'm saying it now, like it's more of a relaxed tone where I'm still having the positive outlook on the rest of the game, and like seeing how minimal that impact really is. Like it's a silly thing, but I'm not getting angry at it, but you know, before, if I was letting the burnout get to me too much and I was still forcing myself to see things through that lens, I would have probably gotten really angry at like the entire game for just daring to have that in there and not trying to see it in a positive sort of way. And it would just be like this overbearing thing where I would see that and then I'd be like, the damn SJW is getting into my games, and then I would read into everything in the game and try and put politics into it, you know? Like, I really don't want to become that.
Yeah, I mean, that's like part of the thing that I find so joyless about the whole movement is that, like, yep, now you've injected your lens into everything. You can't enjoy it. So, I mean, what does your opinion matter anyway? Because I know you're not going to enjoy it.
That was like one of the moments where I saw that sort of stuff happening. Like talking about changing and you like liking things but not really liking them anymore. I used to be into Star Wars a lot, and this has nothing to do with politics as well. Like, I just stopped watching it one day and I got up and I realized that I didn't like it anymore. So like even with that, I'm actually kind of glad that I'm not in that sort of like topic anymore, because so many people, I don't actually know how much like SJW influence are in the new movies because I'm not interested in Star Wars anymore, but there are so many people like analyzing every single bit of it and saying that this is like SJW, this is SJW, this is SJW, and it's like it just looks like a movie.
Yeah, I've never been into Star Wars before, but I've been watching those reviews because it's somehow like interesting to me to watch like just how many things that they're getting angry at. Like, I don't know, it's like this weird,
it is in a way a
just
guilty
curiosity.
It's like it is a guilty pleasure in a way to just like watch these like really Twilight Zone-y like what am I looking into this person's head, who's like seeing all these things.
They're so angry about it. It's like, what the fuck with this fucking Vietnamese chick, and why did she kiss Finn at the end? She ruined the whole fucking movie. And it's like, wow, man, you're really into this thing. I understand it. I like get how they like genuinely ruined something that they're so passionate about, and I can empathize. But I'm just like, I don't know, something about it is just so fun to watch for me.
Or like the ones like, because there's a difference between like a fandom thing, like, oh, it just ruined the storyline, and then people who are just like, oh my god, they're clearly putting in identity politics there, and it's like both of those things get mashed together in a really bizarre way that I just can't stop looking at.
Well, apparently, I haven't actually watched any of the videos on it, but I've been like, now that I've watched a couple of videos, like it's all that I see in my fucking recommended, of like, oh, what's her name? The woman that took over Lucasfilms. Anyway, they're really happy that like it looks like she's going to get fired because of these last couple of films being like not as successful as they should have been, as they were projected to be or something. And they're just absolutely loving it. Like, haha, she's finally coming down. The fans are so excited. You're like, y'all need to get out of the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people say that as like a joke, but it's true. Like, if you get out of the house, you'll actually realize that the whole world doesn't revolve around your fandom. And there's other stuff out there. You could like go to the park. You could like run around and like, I don't know, find a dog to play with, you know, throw a frisbee. There's other stuff in life.
You can like embrace the Church of Rich Evans. You can like do so many things.
More importantly, you could embrace the Church of Rich Evans.
You can become.
I almost said Chris Evans. You could also embrace Chris Evans. I would like to do that.
You can become a Rich Evans disciple like me, just like proudly displaying it on my Twitter name.
Has he acknowledged you as a disciple yet, or still working on it?
He doesn't. I don't think he has much social media. He just strikes me as someone who just doesn't give a shit about social media. I know he doesn't have Twitter, I think.
Oh, doesn't he? Okay. Who have I been following then? No, I actually had. That'd just be so cool if he legitimately recognized that he has disciples. It's just like, so I've heard of this thing going around lately. Apparently I have disciples.
Yeah, his laugh is my ringtone.
Okay, you're a freaky girl. You gotta like settle down a little bit.
Because I used to have like some songs, and then like, because you know whenever your phone rings, you kind of associate the song with like if it's playing as your ringtone, and then you're just like, I don't like this song anymore. So I just started putting it as like random things. I think at one point it was like Filthy Frank saying something, and I just like change it every now and again.
I need to change my ringtone to "Shut the Fuck Up" by Filthy Frank, because all that I get recently, like literally in the last like 3 weeks, I have not gotten a legitimate nice phone call. It's always like people harassing me about bills. I'm like, I don't need this shit. Like, you calling me and annoying me doesn't give me an income any faster, so just fuck off. Like, I just need the shut the fuck up ringtone because I feel like that would put me in a better mood before I answer the phone instead of just answering it fucking angry because I know who it is. I know you're here to ask me for money. Just fuck off.
Yeah, just like it'll put you in the mood to just like tell people to just fuck off and like hang up.
No, it won't put me in that mood, but it'll calm me down because something about acknowledging that like it's a bit extreme to say shut the fuck up would make me not say it, you know?
Well, that makes sense.
I don't know.
I'd just be like, no, fuck you guys, and then hang up.
Well, they called me on the bus yesterday, and I was like, I'm on the bus. I can't talk about my fucking banking. And they're like, oh, it'll only take a few minutes. And so I just hung up on them because I was like, what part of like I'm in a public place do you not understand? Are you fucking retarded? Like, how bad do you fucking want my money?
They just
It's
ask
so
you.
annoying.
They ask you for like, oh no, it's a conspiracy. They had someone sitting next to you, like it was a plant from the bank, and they were gonna ask you to say your password out loud, and that person would go and take all your money.
It's not even just that. It's just that like I don't want to talk about that shit when I'm like going somewhere. And you know, I don't even like taking phone calls on the bus because it's like rude to the other people, but especially when it's something like that, I do not want to be talking about my fucking finances.
Yeah, I don't really do calls like in a public place in general as well. Even if you're like in a kind of closed space like a bus or something, it just feels a bit intrusive on like both parts. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just don't really do the whole public call thing. And then when someone else does it as well, like I try not to listen in, but sometimes.
Uh, well, you can't. If you're in an enclosed space, it's like you can't avoid it. I can't just not hear you.
And then
So,
you kind of start getting into it because they start talking about like drama and stuff, like people they know, and you're like, ooh, what's this gossip?
dude, all of this shit goes down on buses. People might think, okay, I know I'm poor and I catch buses and stuff, and that's kind of shameful, but do you even understand how much extra entertainment I get just from being on a bus every
Yeah, I
day?
do.
Like,
I have to
all
take
of
the
the
bus.
drama goes down.
Oh,
I
especially.
nearly saw a fucking child get punched in the face by a full grown man yesterday.
Oh my god. Like, okay, so when I had to take it to classes, I would take it in the morning. Like, I think I would take the bus at like something to 7 in the morning, and there would be all these old people. And then when I come back, the same old people would be on the
Yeah.
bus, and they would just be talking to the bus driver. I think they just get on the bus and they ride it for the whole fucking day because that's the only thing that they can do, and they just talk to the bus driver, and then they get off the bus at home.
You know what? I think that's a legitimate theory. Like a lot of people, I, when I worked in, I used to work in like fast food, and there was this old woman that came in every single day, and she only bought like the smallest serving of chips, and then she'd sit in the restaurant and eat it, and like just talk to the staff. And she would do her hair so nicely. She'd like full makeup and everything. She was like clearly in like her late 70s, I'd say. She'd always come in like perfectly done up, and I think she was just lonely. Like that was just her social stuff. So she'd buy a couple chips as an excuse to talk to people, and then she'd just sit there and talk to us, and then she'd go home and like do her stuff. But I don't know, it was kind of heartwarming to see that almost. So she really put in effort to look good, just talk to people for a couple of hours while she's eating chips.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's that side of it, and then there's the side of, like, if there's, like, three old people trying to have a conversation with the bus driver for, like, hours on end, the bus driver's just
Yeah, I
looking
guess it
really
can be
tired.
annoying. It can be annoying, but I like to look at the positives.
Or, like, there'll be this one person on the train who's just, like, has this backpack with, like, Jesus stickers all over it, just has, like, it was, like, so bad. Like, he got up, and we were all standing waiting for the doors to open, and this woman, like this weird businesswoman I'd never seen before, just looked at me, and we just looked at each other like, what the fuck is this guy? Like, and then he walks off, and it's like you kind of connect with people in a way when you see weird shit like that, like just people you've never seen before and will never see again. You guys just look at each other like, what?
I think the internet has this weird effect on people as well, like going back to all the drama shit happening on the bus. Like I feel like because everybody's always on their phone on the bus, like playing games or sending texts or on Facebook or whatever. And so I think people get this like weird idea in their head that if something breaks out, like a fight or something breaks out, then the first thing that'll come out is the phones and oh, I'm gonna go viral, like having a fight on the bus. Because especially in Australia, if there's like any you'll know if there's any like fucking like racial tension or something on a bus, it'll definitely make the news if that shit hits Facebook. And
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so like people deliberately trying to start fights on the bus, and you can kind of see in their face that they really want somebody to be recording this right now. I'm gonna end up on World Star. I'm gonna end up on Channel 9. Like,
Oh yeah, fucking
yeah,
Channel 9 will do
so.
like Channel 9 do like a 5-part expose on it.
Is racism on Australian buses getting out of control? We'll see you at 6 to discuss.
For like the next 5 years on the same topic.
Yeah. It gets more fucking coverage than 9/11 did.
Then they're like going and interviewing like the neighbors that the bus goes past every morning.
Did you ever see any projectiles being thrown at the bus?
Did you see anything from the windows of the bus? And then one old lady is like, "What are you people doing in my house?"
Oh.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's coming up on 2 hours, so I'm going to have to like end this, at least the recording.
No. Okay.
Yeah, but
Did we get through all our topics? We definitely covered the bus part.
yes, the bus was the main
Yeah,
focus. The bus is the key to everything.
Finally got to that.
Yeah. So is there anything you'd like to say to like as a potential for ending the video?
As a potential for ending the video, I will definitely be making more videos in the future. Please don't give up on me, fam. Thanks.
Become a Rich Evans disciple today.
Definitely.